Hello. So look at this problem on the board today for math. It says Susie starts school at 9 o'clock and goes to bed at 9 o'clock. Talk to someone around you or just talk to the screen about how this can be true. She wouldn't start school and go to bed at the same time, would she? Those are different 9 o'clocks, different parts of the day. Have you ever heard of the words AM or PM? So there are 24 hours in a day. The first 12 hours are from midnight to noon. And those are the AM hours. So from midnight, that's when you're in bed asleep and it's dark outside, to noon, which is when you guys get to go to lunch, that's AM. And then from noon to midnight, those are the PM hours. So from lunch to when you go back to bed and you're sleeping, that's PM. All right. So that would mean Susie starts school at 9 in the morning, right? We go to school in the morning. So it's 9 in the morning. So that would be AM. And she goes to bed at 9 at night or PM. So today we will draw two events that happen in the AM and two events that happen in the PM. So you'll draw two events that you do in the morning, AM, and two events that you do in the evening, PM. So you're going to think about two things you do before lunch, we go to lunch, and then two things you do when it goes after lunchtime. And that's going to help you draw your pictures. Okay, so how you're going to be successful, you're going to think, what do I do in the morning before lunch? And that's AM. And then you're going to think, what do I do in the afternoon or evening? And that's after lunch or PM. Say AM, morning. Say PM, afternoon, evening. All right, so here's the 24-hour timeline that I was just talking about before. So from midnight, which would be this 12 o'clock right here, that's midnight, all the way up until noon when we go to lunch. Those are all the AM hours. So midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then noon, that's AM. Say AM, morning. And then from 1 or like noon to all the way up back to midnight, those are the PM hours or afternoon or evening. Say PM, afternoon, evening. So number lines can be called timelines when they show periods of time in years, hours, months, and days. So we've seen the number line all up around our classroom, right? This is a different type of number line. It's a timeline that shows the day. There are 24 hours in a day. All right, now I'm going to plot some points on the timeline, and maybe this is going to help you be able to draw your pictures, okay? So first thing I'm going to plot is when teachers arrive. Teachers have to arrive at school at 8:15. So I see the 8 o'clock, and then I see 9 o'clock. It's not 8 o'clock that we have to be there. It's 8:15. So I'm going to plot this line a little bit after the 8. Put my line, and then since this is it says A, teachers arrive. I'm going to label it with an A, and that's going to tell you guys that that's when we arrive at school. Sloppy A. All right, let's go to when students arrive. Do you remember when you guys have to arrive at school? Tell the screen. You're right, that's 9 o'clock. So point to 9 on your screen. Where do you see it? Okay, so this one, I didn't talk about it. 8, we arrive at 8 in the morning. We don't arrive at 8 in the evening or afternoon because there's another 8 over here, isn't there? But that's when we're getting ready for bed. So that's not when we're getting to school. Same for you guys. You go in the morning, not at night when you're getting ready for school. So I'm going to plot it over here underneath AM, draw my line. And this one gets a B because it says students arrive. All right, now we've been talking about this for a while now. When do you go to lunch? What time? Look at the class schedule if you need help. Yeah, we go to lunch at noon. Really, we go to lunch at 12:10. So I'm going to plot that on this graph. Now, look over here. Here's 12 and here's 12. This 12 here is at midnight. Remember, midnight's when you're sleeping. It's dark outside. So you do not go to lunch at midnight. You go to lunch at noon here, this 12, where it's turning into being afternoon, evening. So I'm going to plot it not at the 12, just a little bit after for 12:10. And that one gets a C for lunch. Okay, next is recess. So recess, we go to recess at, what time do we go to recess? 10:45. So I'm going to find my time. So here's 10 over here. Here's 10 over here. Remember, recess would not be at 10 at night because that's when we're in bed sleeping. We would go to bed at 10. I'm sorry. We would go to recess at 10 in the morning. Now, 10:45. It is not at the 10. Just like when we look at like the clock on the wall, 10:45 would be closer. The 45 would be closer to the 11, right? So I'm going to plot my line. Not at the 11 yet, but pretty close to it. And that one gets a D. And then dinner. Ooh, dinner this time. Okay, so dinners are at all different times. You guys probably eat at different times than your friends do. So a lot of times we eat dinner at 5. Some of us eat dinner at 6. Some of us eat at 7. So I'm going to go ahead and just plot it at 6. All right, so do we eat in the AM or the PM? Point on your screen where it would be if we're doing it at 6. At 6 a.m., some of us are awake then. I'm awake then. 6 a.m. is in the morning, though. It's pretty close to when you probably wake up. So we wouldn't eat dinner in the morning. Dinner would be in the afternoon or evening time at this 6 o'clock. So we're going to draw our plot there. Hopefully that's where you point to it if you did good job. And then gets an E for dinner. All right, math time, which is what we're doing right now. Look at your little clocks on your screens, your digital clocks. What time is it? It's probably around 2:30. We start math at 2:15, 2:20-ish. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my timeline again. Do we do it in the morning or in the afternoon, evening? We would do it not in the morning because 2:25 in the morning is when you're sleeping. We do it in the afternoon after lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that. 2:25. Remember, it's not right at the 2. It's a little bit after the 2. So I'm going to go ahead and plot 2:25. And that would be for math, which is an F. Next is reading. Look at the class schedule to see when we do reading. We do that right after recess, right? So that would be before lunch, right before lunch in the morning time is reading at 11:15. So here's 11. There's noon when we go to lunch. So let's go ahead and plot it just a little tiny bit after the 11 since it's 11:15. And that's going to get a G. All right, now waking up time is a little bit different, guys, because we all wake up at different times. I'm going to go ahead and say, let's plot it at 6 again. And then if you wake up at a different time, that's okay. So 6, do we wake up at 6 a.m. or p.m.? Point on your screen. You should be pointing over here at a.m. We wake up in the morning, right? We go to bed at night. So I'm going to go ahead and put the line at 6 a.m. in the morning. We do that before lunch. And I'll plot that with an H. And then the last one is going to bed. So going to bed, let's plot that at, what do you want to plot at, 8:30? Let's say 8:30. So do we do that in the morning, a.m. time or p.m. time? Point on your screen. You should be pointing over here because we go to bed at nighttime after lunch. So, in the after lunch hours. So here's 8. 8:30 is halfway. Here's 8:30. So I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. Okay, so look at all of these plots over here are what we do before we go to lunch. And then over on this side is what we do after lunch. So that maybe can help you remember what 2 pictures to draw. Okay, I'm going to erase this and then we'll move on to the next slide. Erase, erase, erase. Okay, moving on. So remember, to be successful, you're going to think, what do I do in the morning? That's before lunch. And then that's the a.m. time. And then you'll think, what do I do in the afternoon or evening? That's p.m. And that's what you do after lunch. Okay, so that's how you can draw those pictures. So this is your page in your math journal. I may have my class try this on Cami today, so just listen to what your teacher tells you to do. You're going to get out your math journal to page 71, and you're going to go ahead and draw what you do in the morning, which would be a.m., what you do in the afternoon, which would be p.m. Be very careful because this says 8 a.m. This says 8 p.m. This is 8. No, this is not 8. This is 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Everybody should have the same picture for 11 p.m. Okay, so look at the timeline. We have something plotted at 8, but you don't. That says teachers arrive. You don't arrive at 8. So think about what you do in the morning, probably around 8 o'clock, right before you get to school. What are you doing? And then 11 a.m., we do have a plot here. Look at what we're doing at 11 a.m. And then 8 p.m. would be about here. And 11 p.m. is all the way over here. And if at 8 you're in bed, what are you going to be doing at 11 p.m.? Okay, so remember today we learned the difference between a.m. and p.m. a.m. is in the morning and p.m. is in the afternoon or evening. Good job today, guys.